what you're doing is being very messy and destructive. We need you to get your stuff in order
Mhm.
because this is not working out. Nobody should be scared to leave out their house and sit on their porch or ride
Hmm.
their bicycle in their neighborhood.
Hmm. No.
Nobody nobody should be looking at their nieces and their nephews on social media playing around with guns at 10 years old and
Oof. No.
people twerking on your no nobody is supposed to be
Mm-mm.
looking at stuff like that. Like, what are we talking
And
about?
they're not supposed to be doing it. It's like, so there's
Right.
accountability several places there that are, um, for some people, it's about, and I don't know, I think it was on a Threads thing where there people have certain desires and they have something that they think they want. Sometimes it's attention, and sometimes you can tell that's what it is. Sometimes it's fame, which you need the attention for, or sometimes it's often attention. And so things that we didn't do or would not do in certain ages and certain time frames, from my generation and just beyond, with people from my generation, well, you couldn't have had a Jerry Springer because nobody would have watched it then, because no one would have went on it. No one would have went on it because their family would kill them. So it's like, but then it got to this place where people being ridiculous and and talking about things not in a way that's going to help them, but in a way that gets them exposure, became the norm. And so the more ridiculous you could become, the more people would know about you. And so people would audition for those things. And so you got those reality shows, or and you got that reality TV. And I mean, I've been on uh, one or two reality shows, not that type, but even that show, that the one I was on, one in particular, is they're scripted. They still tell you what they want you to say. So they're looking for a certain behavior from that audience to get those people to watch. The same as the TikTok clicks or the likes or the whatever the case may be. So in those senses, maybe we don't need to be on Jerry Springer if I could just do it at home. And sometimes it's the parent or the adult in the room that's allowing this because
Or
they
lack
think it's cute. Yeah, they think it's cute and it's going to get them whatever that attention is they want, not realizing what you are teaching somebody whose brain is not formed
thereof.
to do or think that it's okay to do. And then it's exposed to God knows who. You don't know who's watching this stuff. So you don't know what that's going to lead to. But it comes from different places. It comes from us thinking it's okay to expose people to this. Like too many, like I think it was Bernie Mac who said, there are no more big mamas, so grandma's 37 and it's all of these things. And it is where if you're the same age, you and your child are in the club together, there's kind of a problem. Like it's like there's a problem there. Nobody's adulting. So the child's becoming an adult and the parent's becoming the child. And so the boundaries are blurred. There's no, you're not teaching this person as their brain is forming how to be discerning or how to say yes to the right things and no to the others, or let me talk to somebody about this, or if this doesn't seem okay. None of that. All of that starts to get blurred. And I saw it, I think, with my middle son when there were a few mothers that were fairly young that were okay with their daughters inviting my 15-year-old over to spend a night or a camping trip, which was not okay with me. So, but something like that, even. So it's an adult putting a child in an adult situation because they want to be friends or whatever the case may be. And so we start to break those structures down there as well. And I think uh, parenting needs to go back to parenting. It's like we need to go back, we need to work on that place where we can communicate with our children, but they are still our children. They're not our drinking buddies. It's not that. It's like we are these. This is what I have learned. This is what I can teach you. I am supposed to protect you, and that is what I'm going to do. And sometimes protection looks like no. So
They
oftentimes,
also should not be the parent's mouthpiece or the parent's redo, where they decide to put their life on the child because they want to relive their own childhood.
Yeah. Now I'm going to play baseball because I broke my arm and couldn't play, so my son's going to do it now, and he hates baseball. So, yeah. So we have to really be mindful of those things. And I do think some of the social media groups do help with that. I think live groups can help with that as well. I'm sorry.
I was saying bringing awareness. I see a lot more people posting about like what is appropriate for children, how to actually be an attentive mother. Like there's this one woman that I love that she posts a lot about how to deal with like difficult emotions that you might feel when you have your kids around and stuff like that, and how to talk to them about really difficult topics. Because there's a lot of people that really do not know how to properly broach subjects with their children. And they either give them way too much information or they give them zero guidance at all. So when the child is actually confronted with that problem, they don't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah, the boys can tell you from my military background, it was orders. I gave a lot of orders until they got older and started to help me understand the way they transform, the way I can guide them into the direction that I could see they wanted to go in or that would be better for them. But I came from it was an order. And so it was an order. It was like when they got older, we started to be able to, we're still going to do this thing, but let's talk about what that looks like. Let's talk about what that means for you. But they were in their teens by then. And I think that's when they were ready, but I know I was definitely the drill sergeant. McKinley can tell you that. So that was definitely me.
I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to ask a question, right? We have this this thing where there's a misunderstanding on the importance or the significance of having a two-parent household and why certain people have specific roles within that relationship which influences the children. Just in y'all opinion, can you confirm or deny that unless you are equally yoked, it is absolutely impossible to instill in a child something that has to be cohesively conjoined from two different perspectives? You can't have, like, for me, example, I didn't know my father. My stepfather is my father. He raised me. So he's from your era. I saw him going to work.